gas prices, right? I'm living in California, Los Angeles, California, no less. And normally, when you're able to find cheap gas prices here in California, it's still like around 420, 410. Sometimes you were able to find gas prices around the 399 area, if you were in the right location. Um, but they have gone up. It has gone up to a 499 average. And I actually have started doing some research on the internet and did some Google searching, and AI went to a whole bunch of different sites for me, 19 different sites to be exact, because I wanted to make sure that I had some accurate information that I'm about to drop, right? So here you go. Here's some accurate information about Los Angeles, California, and our gas crisis that we're having right now, right? We have shut down in the last 2 years two refineries here in Los Angeles. One of them was Phillips 66, which is the refinery that was out there in Wilmington and Carson. That one was set to close in October 2024, and they actually did close all operations in 2025. And the second refinery that has left California is Valero. And they are the most recent ones to have left. They have left this month, or not this month, but this year. And the gas prices with that alone have been what's kept us at the $5 marker, $4 marker, while gas prices in the rest of America seems to be like around the $3 marker, right? Like with the craziness that's happening overseas though right now, that's causing a lot of trouble with our gasoline as well, because we get a lot of our gas shipped from overseas, primarily Iraq. And I ran some numbers on that too. I got some good information on all that stuff as well. And so now I'm paying like legit. All gas stations that I see are minimum 490, 499. There have been some places, like today I was driving through the Brentwood area. Gas prices over there are at the 650 mark. When I was in Hancock Park, over there, it's by the Hollywood Bowl area. Over there, it's around $7.50, right? So if you're lucky, you could find gas right now in Los Angeles County for about $5 a gallon. And I don't know if that's uh, something that can continue to happen here. People are already having a hard time making rent with the continued increases in property taxes and rental taxes and whatnot. So with those two that have gone, it's taken 17% of our total refining capacity, right? Is gone and left California. We lost 17% of our fuel, mostly due to regulations. These places are closing and leaving California to go to places that have cheaper tax rates and less regulations. And everybody knows that with the green push that California has been implementing with the electricity and all the electrical cars and whatnot, it makes sense that they're trying to push gas prices as high as they can to make people not want to buy gas powered vehicles. And it's a smart tactic, especially if they're able to put some deals out there for electric. But even with most electric cars, they still require gasoline, right? They're hybrids. I wouldn't put all my trust in just electric, at least not yet, right? Like, and if you're gonna think about California itself, we have some of the toughest electrical grids in the whole country, right? Like, we have millions of people that are here, and we're powering electricity, all of them, houses, businesses, and now vehicles, right? So we're spending all of this electricity and money on electricity to turn everything into electricity and take away from gasoline. Now my electricity bill is $60, right? I'm paying $60 to Edison a month. I live by myself. I have 1 to 2 lights on. If I took account of all of my electricity, it's equivalent to leaving 3 lights on for 24 hours a day, right? Like, I'm not using a lot of electricity here, but I'm still paying like $60 a month, which is stupid. I've never thought that in 20 years ago, electrical prices was $20, right? If you paid more than $20 for electricity, you was wasting a lot of electricity, right? Now minimum $60, right? And it doesn't seem like they're gonna stop raising the prices on this stuff either, right? each year it's gonna, I bet, continue to go up a little bit more and a little bit more. And I'm not sure why, but I do know that unfortunately, since we are losing out on such an opportunity to create our own gas, these regulations pushing businesses away from California, like Valero and Phillips 66, these refineries leaving, we got to get a lot of our stuff from overseas. So I went online and I searched, where are we getting our gasoline from, right? And I was thinking it was going to be other places in America. But that wasn't the number one. The number one that came up was 60 to 64% of our crude oil comes from overseas. And it's not just Iraq. I did mention Iraq earlier, but it's also Brazil, Ghana, and Ecuador, right? So those are our four major oil hubs where California is receiving the most of our gasoline, right? Iraq is being affected because all of the gasoline that comes from Iran and Iraq come down a little straight. It's I forget the name of it, but it's like a canal, and it lets out into the Black Sea, I believe, right? And it's very hostile territory right there. So once Iran starts tripping, they start tripping with the gas. They try and close up that little canal there. And then Donald Trump doing all this crazy stuff with South America. Apparently we get a lot of stuff from Brazil, so it makes sense that Brazil is trying to tag along. But I had no idea that we were getting gasoline from Ghana. Like I had no idea that we were getting our gasoline from Ecuador. I thought Ecuador was a pretty poor country, right? Considering the surrounding countries in South and Central America. I didn't know Ecuador to have a big economy, right? In refineries. So 23% of our gasoline actually comes from California and is made still in California, which is crazy considering how much oil we're sitting on. But all of it is mostly coming from Kern County. And Kern County, if anybody who was following the elections was looking at the map, in California had that big red section, that's like the Kern County area. That's the more rural. But man, you guys know what I'm saying. It's more country over there, right? So you got more farmland. You got more people who have like reliancy on farming and gasoline and whatnot. And so, these things are what's causing California to flip more from a blue state to a red state. And it's mostly because of regulations. California keeps on putting crazy regulations on these corporations in the name of environmental health, while at the same time not really, protecting the environment, because we got fires that happen every year that put off just as much CO2 emissions as cars do. So once we're able to start figuring out how we could stop these fires from happening every year, I'll have more faith in us being able to put our trust in our gas refineries and our electrical grids here in California, right? And it might just be my millennial opinion, it might just be me as a millennial, but as a 42-year-old OG millennial, let me tell you, younger millennials, this shit ain't right. And if you're an older person like one of them Gen X's, this shit ain't right, man. We wasn't paying this back in the 90s. If you're a Gen Z or whatever you are, Gen Y, Gen Z, Gen Zs, you Gen Zs, y'all just get used to it, man. Get electric. Don't even get a gasoline car, man. Just get electric. If you're in California, just get electric, man. No more old school caddies, no more lowriders. No more of those good metal cars. They're gone. Get yourself a nice fiberglass electric vehicle and you'll be straight in California. As long as they don't have a brownout and they shut off the electricity to your house. They do that a lot, here in California. Those brownouts, rolling blackouts. They're going to be coming back around because we got fire season happening, right? As if fire is a natural disaster. Fire is not a natural disaster, guys, all right? I just want you to know right now that fire is not a natural disaster. But here in Los Angeles County, we have to prepare for fire as if it's a yearly natural disaster. It is crazy here, man. It blows my mind, right? So, once we're able to get all that stuff cleared out, if we ever get any of that dead stuff that's been up there and already burned cleared out, we should be able to have more control over, the economic health of our world, right? Like if California wants to be all about the green piece, you know what I'm saying? Let's stop setting off millions and millions of however much it is in fumes of those terrible CO2 emissions into our atmosphere, right? Choking out surrounding cities and people can't breathe. Fires in Brentwood, I live 20 miles away and I got ash on my car, you know. How does that happen? It's crazy. Anyways, now I guess, you know, we could move on from this crazy world shit, you know. We just got to talk about some real life stuff every now and then, you know, because I'm about to jump into this wrestling stuff, and sometimes this wrestling stuff seems to be all make-believe, man, right? So we had WWE Raw this week. We had